Is it just me, or is it that Robin is way more important than I thought she was going to be? Maybe not necessarily in this episode by herself, but things she says hold a big significance to other characters. Anyway, welcome to my next Stranger Things Season 5 episode review video. Before I talk about that in detail, pretty important, if you haven't watched through Season 5 Episode 4 of Stranger Things, then it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. Well, this is the end of Volume 1 of Stranger Things Season 5. We have Volume 2 coming out on Christmas Day, 3 episodes starting at 7 p.m. Central Time. I would prefer early morning start time. And then the finale of Stranger Things coming out on New Year's Eve at 7 p.m. Central Time. So I'm pretty big fan of Stranger Things. I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means, but it's definitely one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I guess it fluctuates anywhere between top 8 to top 12. I don't remember where it was on my last ranking, but you can find that out on the channel. I think I did that video on August 2nd of 2025, if memory serves me correctly. But I like the show a lot, and I've actually reviewed every single episode of Stranger Things. So if you want to familiarize yourself with my Stranger Things fandom, if you wait till about 20 seconds are left in this video, you'll see the end screen, and that'll be the link to my Stranger Things episode reviews playlist. You can watch your favorite episodes being reviewed by me, the man with all the expert analysis. I'm just kidding, but watch your favorite episodes, hear what I have to say about them, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. And make sure that you Hulk smash the like button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, you might end up in the upside down. And bad things tend to happen in the upside down. But with all that said, this will be Stranger Things Season 5, Episode 4, the finale of Volume 1. The title of this episode is called Chapter 4, Sorcerer. And this will be my review, reaction, recap. Not necessarily after I finish watching the episode, because I started watching this episode about 5 a.m. on Thanksgiving, and I finished it around 8. Obviously, I paused it a few times to take notes and do whatever, so I was exhausted at that point, so I couldn't do a review video after that. So it's about 10 hours after I finished watching the episode. So we start with Joyce trying to calm Derek Turnbow down. She asks him if he knows who she is, and he says she's an evil child kidnapper. I'm just a mom, and points to Will, her son. Derek calls Will Zombie Boy because he died and came back to life. She tells Derek that a scary monster is going to come after him. Joyce is actually freeing Derek, and then he, of course, tries to escape and even actually throws sand or dirt into Will's eyes. The Demogorgon arrives. Joyce says if you want him, you'll have to come through me. And then we have Steve arriving and smashes his car into the Demogorgon, and it starts running into the Upside Down, and he decides to follow it into the Upside Down. I don't know if that would be the smartest choice right then and there, but it worked, I guess, maybe. We don't know. We'll find out at the end of the season. And then we have Alan Miller's daughter, Debbie. I don't know if I was supposed to know about that character or his daughter or not, but news to me. She is taken by the military police. Steve drives into something in the Upside Down as Joyce is trying to get a response on the walkie-talkie. Will paints something that's very important to Henry, or Vecna, whatever you want to call him. Erica keeps calling Derek a dipshit. Will realizes Vecna has more kids already captured. Dr. K is going to use the kids as bait, and she's called reckless by Ramirez. Max apologizes to Holly for scaring her, but it's been a while since she's seen somebody in that version of the Upside Down. And Holly remembers Max coming over to Mike's, the Wheeler household, and she tells Holly that she wrote the note. So we thought Vecna wrote the note, but it wouldn't make sense because he wrote a note saying not to go into the woods, and then note said to go into the woods. Max shows Holly where she stays in the cave, and it even comes with a view. Max calls it a prison, Henry's prison. And then some kids are taken to the barracks, and Robin goes over how they'll get them into there, and she mentions she likes Dick. Perhaps she really does like Dick, and she'll end up with Steve in the finale, or before the finale. They seem to have so much chemistry in Season 3, and then, all of a sudden it was nothing. But I don't know. It's what I want to happen. I don't think it will happen. I think she's madly in love with Vicky at this point. Dustin is able to reach Hopper and Elle on the walkie. Max tells Holly that she was dead for a moment. She says she was trapped in Henry's mind. Murray's got some useful stuff. Derek calls himself Delightful Derek instead of Dipshit Derek. Elle flies over the gate as seen in the trailer. She lets Hop in. Nice job, by the way, Hopper says. Derek tells the children that he's been chosen by Mr. What's It and that he's their savior. The kids seem disinterested, and Derek says the monsters are coming and you're all going to die. And then Debbie asks if he's talking about Henry, and he kind of gives her a look like, okay, somebody knows what's going on. Lucas tells Mike, Will, Robin, Joyce, and Murray that he can't get over the fact that the fate of the world rests on Derek frickin' Turnbow. Joyce says sometimes people need someone to believe in them, and they can do amazing things. Will tells Mike he could see his mom through the Demogorgon. Mike calls Will a wizard. I put in here Mike calls Mike a wizard. Nancy tells Jonathan that she agrees with Steve. We can't just sit here. Dustin runs in and says this wall is a circle completely surrounding the Upside Down. In the center of the circle is the Hawkins Lab. So I'm sure that will come more into play in the next episodes of Stranger Things, especially like the gate episode that we're going to get. I believe that's the penultimate episode, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, there's the Right Side Up episode as the finale. Max says to Holly that she had found the hole to get back when Lucas was visiting her in the hospital, but then the music stopped. They're running up that hill, and the hole closed. She ran and kept running. There's something about this cave. Vecna / Harry or Henry is scared of it and won't come in for some reason. That'll be interesting to find out why he won't go in that cave. If you want to escape Kemazots, this is the only way. You have to go back to Henry's house because I have a plan. Holly says, tell me what I need to do. I can't remember how to say that. Kemazots, I can't remember now after sleeping on it. Robin tells Will about knowing Tammy being the one, and then she met Steve, the Harrington. Elle tries to get into the room with her powers in the lab in the Upside Down, but something once again is stopping her and then like hurting her. Derek gives the kids one by one the cue to go leave, where they go into like a bathroom stall, and then Lucas like has a hole and they take him underground in the tunnels. And then where Robin, the magic elf, and the company are waiting for them. Dr. K finds Elle. She's been looking for her for a very long time. Elle tells Dr. K that her and her men are going to die. Hopper takes out a few of them men with, just Hopper's elite fighter. Derek wasn't able to get all the kids out as someone noticed the water leak and went into the bathroom, and then afterwards told one of the guards. Dr. K tells Hopper, who is being held by the neck by a large upside-down tentacle, so you're the reason she's been so hard to track. And Dr. K says the tentacle thrives in the cold, but the heat weakens it. Elle goes after Dr. K, and Hopper gets free from the tentacle. Hopper is trying to get Elle out of there and notices that Hopper actually has TNT strapped to his chest as a failsafe. Dynamite, TNT, whatever you want to call it. If anything happens, I've got to make sure he goes down with me. Hopper says, I'm not going to risk losing you. I will not risk it. From here on out, I want you to know how proud I am of you. Hopper walks away saying, I love you, Jane. So my death predictions were 11 was going to die. At this point, there's no way that Elle is going to die. If anybody's going to die, it's going to be Hopper. But, I mean, they've already tried to kill him once, so I don't know why they would fake out death, or maybe even twice if you want to count in the tunnels in Season 2. So I don't think Elle is going to die at all at this point. I'd be shocked, especially if Hopper lives, because he'd have to deal with another daughter dying. Joyce, Will, Mike, Derek, and some kids have been captured and taken to Colonel Sullivan. Joyce says these kids are in danger. Derek says, I've seen what's coming, and you and your men can't protect shit. Derek Turnbow is like the comic relief, along with Erica in this season. And then Will falls over. He tells Joyce they're here. And then a Demogorgon comes from below, and the military shoots at it. More Demogorgons arrive. Robin and Murray with the kids in the back of the truck with the Demogorgons following them. Mike, Joyce, Will, Derek, and the kids are surrounded by Demogorgons, and then one of the military guys shoots shoots fire at him, which of course affects Will, and Will's like in pain. And then the Demogorgons follow Murray and Robin, which Murray loves it. Will is screaming in pain, or they stop following. I think I messed up and put something out of place here. Hopper ends up coming back for Elle, and then Elle goes into the room where she thought Vecna was. Well, it's not Vecna. There were people that were theorizing this, but I didn't think it was going to happen. But they're going to pay off an event that happened in Season 2 of Stranger Things. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 8, otherwise known as Callie, who is being held in that room. And Callie kind of gives a smirk to Elle. And then they show some like flashback scenes of Callie and 11 from Season 2. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. I do think Callie is going to die, though. That's for sure, now that we've seen her. But that was easily the worst episode of the show from Season 2, the other sister. And then Vecna has arrived. There's this one scene where he uses like his whole claw to like stab a guy's eyes when his head's on the ground. That was pretty brutal. The soldiers proved to be really ineffective against Vecna. And then there's an explosion, and Sullivan is caught in it. There's no confirmation that Sullivan is dead, but we see like every soldier laying on the ground. So at this point, I think all the military people are dead, except for Dr. K, because we didn't see her die. I think Hopper hit her with his gun, if I remember correctly. And then the Demogorgons have reached Murray and Robin, and Murray yells, "Hold on!" And then the vehicle actually tips over. And also, Lucas is surrounded by Demogorgons in the tunnel. Vecna finds Joyce, and she yells, "Stay away from him! You stay away!" And then Vecna uses his powers to bring Will over to him, the front of him. And then he's like, "Can you see them? Can you see the children? The children have been taken away by Demogorgons." Vecna tells Will that he doesn't belong in this world, and he belongs in his world. And then Vecna just randomly leaves. Mike's in trouble. Lucas is in trouble. Then Robin and Murray are going to be in trouble. And then we see a flashback of Will stuff with becoming friends with Mike. We had the Robin voiceover of what all I had to do was think of what was inside me. And then we have like them getting their first D&D thing. And then all of a sudden, Will Byers has powers. Now, a lot of people speculated this, but like seeing it come to fruition, like he's just standing there, like stopping the Demogorgon from going after Mike, and then freaking like Robin, he like tilts his head back and he's got like glowy eyes, and just an awesome freaking scene. But then on top of that, the Sorcerer, Will Byers, actually has the Vecna powers and snaps all the limbs of the Demogorgon. So pretty awesome scene. That's definitely a mark out moment for Stranger Things. And then Will wipes his nose, and that's what ends this episode in this volume of Stranger Things Season 5. So awesome episode. Now, I did doze off a couple times during it. Nothing regarding the episode. It was just I was exhausted watching this really early in the morning. So I did go back, but it was kind of hard to stay focused and not doze off. But it was an awesome episode. I got to give it a 10 out of 10. We get the return of Callie, the Demogorgon stuff at the beginning, the Will stuff at the end. Awesome episode, and I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. And my character of the episode is going to be Will Byers, obviously. I mean, one could make a case for Joyce was really good. I feel like Steve Harrington is kind of getting sidelined in this season. Is that just me? Like, he's not really being used at all. He gets his, like, little moments here and there, but he's not really being used at all in the season. But that's just my opinion. And Robin, all this dialogue from Robin and like what she said to Will really resonated with him. But I'm losing my voice here actually at this moment. My throat's really hurting. I'm not necessarily losing my voice. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Stranger Things and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button. Otherwise, you might end up on the upside down. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section regarding what your thoughts are regarding this Volume 1 finale of Stranger Things. What would you rate this episode? Who would you give the character of the episode to? Your thoughts on Robin being like a really important character of this season? And maybe your thoughts on if Steve Harrington is getting underutilized. I mean, he usually gets a big focal point. In this season, he kind of takes a backseat. In fact, in this episode, Nancy, Steve Harrington, and Jonathan, and Dustin, to a degree, kind of like disappeared at one point. So interesting there. But let me know your thoughts. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to my channel. Help me get over 100,000 subscribers. Yes, I know I set my goals pretty high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.